I think this code is done. So let me run it. I think we did it. Elis01 says, "Hi. Interesting to hear position of professional programmer on this. I can't decide what language to choose as my primary one. I love the simplicity and aesthetics of C code, compilation time check of Rust, safety, ease of Golang. Is there a point of constant switching between languages in search of the one?" Ah, okay. So my experience with switching languages is I haven't switched I don't switch languages much. So my first ever programming language was Python. I did that for a bit. That was fine. I created like funny Discord bots. Um, Later on, I moved on to C, and I only did C. And then later on, I moved on to V, right? And then I ended up becoming like one of the contributors. I did constant switching. It wasn't really constant switching. Like I spent my time in TypeScript and things like that. Eventually, the most comfortable language for me was V, right? Because it has all the things that you say: simplicity and aesthetics, compilation time check, and the ease of Golang, right? I ended up with V. But the thing is, I used V for a while and so long that I kind of missed C. I kind of missed C because my roots are in C, because it's just such a simple language and I can get stuff done. And to answer your question, I say I say you should find the one, right? Eventually, like you'll switch, like maybe you might end up liking Rust, right? Maybe you might end up liking Rust. Maybe you might end up liking C. Even Golang is great. Even Golang, like you spend some time in Golang because they have nice like inline assembly. Um, it's like Golang is a very well-rounded language. There's a reason why V took most of Golang syntax. Uh, I mean, your question is very open-ended. Your question is very open-ended. You can't choose, and the thing is, I can't choose for you. I can't choose for you. You have to find that. You have to find it yourself. Um, Language to choose your primary one. I say, my opinion is that everyone has to have a little C in their life, right? You see for a little bit, and yeah, and you say you do, like you love the simplicity and aesthetics. I don't know, like I can't make that choice for you. At the end of the day, the language you're most comfortable with is the one that you spend the most time and the one that you've done work in, right? If you can do real work in a language, that's your language. So I say there is, I say there is a point in trying to find a language that you love, right? Constant switching. I mean, don't feel bad that you're constant switching. There's no reason. There always is going to be the one, right? For me, that's C because I love it so much. It is just such a great language. But there is always a point. There is always a point finding the language you're most comfortable with, you know. And I say go out. You go out and find that. Go out and find that language. That's the answer. That's the answer to your question. From my opinion. Elise01 says, "Thanks for answer. Lots of people say that constant switching is the worst thing that can happen to you, so yeah. Glad to hear that there's a reason to look deeper. There's always a reason to look deeper. There's always a reason to keep learning, to keep figuring out. Going to different languages will give you a different perspective, right? I went to V. I went to Rust. Oh, well, I didn't use Rust, but I studied Rust. I studied Rust just for the different approach it takes. It's you have just to. I mean, there is no downside to learning. There's no downside to going out there and figuring stuff out. I say, I say, do what you want. I say, have fun. That's uh, that's my thoughts. Now I need to figure out why the fuck this is seg faulting